Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Ushanka Show. Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи. My name is Sergey, and I was born in the USSR.
Вы смотрите программу Ushanka Show.
Today we're going to continue our journey across the northern seas on a Soviet ship Estonia and follow the diary of the angry Soviet wife that she kept during this long 2-week cruise through the countries of northern Europe as well as France. And now her diary takes us to London, England, where this group spent from November 5th till November 9. November 5. We woke up and the ship was already anchored. Around us, all boards can get to the shore. We were explained that we are fenced in just in case. Well, I'm not sure what she's talking about here, but sounds like they parked this Soviet ship somewhere in the far corner of the port and it was all fenced in with like wooden boards, so like a privacy fence. And they were explaining it was for their own safety. And then Nelly adds, but I think they deeply don't care about us, have no respect whatsoever. So I kind of get this feeling that she started realizing that for countries like France, England, Soviet people basically look upon like the second grade citizens, and they probably feel themselves with this miserable amount of money they have, with KGB personnel watching over them, can't do that, can't buy that, can't go over there, can't do this. They feel depressed because, back home they're probably like elite, Soviet elite, Soviet intelligentsia, and here in these other countries they just feel like they're second grade people. Then she continues, we went sightseeing in the horrible buses. So here we go. Different countries, different buses. So in London, they were offered horrible buses. It was warm morning, so that's November 5th, 1978, and we drove by workers on strike. And then she continues, I found it kind of funny. So they yelled something at us, and we pretend like we are not Soviets, like this is not our business. Apparently, workers found out that factory owners made huge profits and they demand additional pay. Of course, the owner doesn't agree, and now they on strike for 8 weeks. And she just like put exclamation points for her. It's like something hard to comprehend. How can you be on strike for 8 weeks or 2 months? Everyone has the family, but they still on strike. Then she continues, I want to go home so bad, and we still have 10 days ahead. So she's completely worn out. She had enough. And said, the only good news, finally everything comes to the closure, and I am in England. She said, houses look, and that's a kind of interesting description. She put that homes along the road look strict. So, nothing fancy, no bright colors. Then they drove past one of the Ford factories and she was very impressed. She said, so many cars, all different kinds. Nelly continues, there are 1.5 million jobless people unemployed in England. So, for Soviets, such a huge unemployment is something unheard of because, Soviet Union was always proud to have 0% unemployment. Our guide said that his son already looking for a job for over 2 years. London has 8 million people. We stop at the bank and exchange our dollars to pounds. 1 pound equal $2. So we lost about $3. So you see, every penny counts, especially if you have $32 to spend for a whole trip. So they lost on this exchange $3, and she noticed that right away. So see, like the scale is just hysterical. Nelly continues, children dressed so. Something unusual. Little boys wear these funny looking hats. At the same time, their legs are naked, they wear shorts. So like in Soviet Union in November, you don't wear shorts. We saw something very unusual. A couple arrived in a limo. By the way, here they have a special seats in the cars for kids. So once again, I don't know if Nelly owned a car in Soviet Union, but she had no idea about baby seats for the cars. Well, car seats, they call them, right? There are many blacks everywhere. So once again, from the Soviet person to see a black person on the street, that's a quite unusual event. Everywhere advertisement about concerts, beer, coffee, and such. Cars are very cool. Finally, we saw normal homes. They look okay, and she's using this English word actually, okay. Homes in the middle of the city is really modern and really cool. We visited city, so in London, the business district, I believe it's called City, was there huge buildings, Big Ben, St. Paul Cathedral, and other places of interest. Walked around and looked around. We were met by some strange people that carried white banners with messages such as Christos Voskres, which is Jesus uh, will be resurrected, or Jesus is returning, and Svobodu Pechati в СССР, freedom for the press in the USSR. So there's some people that have banners in Russian waiting for the Soviet tourists in London. Kind of interesting. Then she continues, I went into the drugstore, which we call apteka in Russian, and they have everything there under the sun, from towels to flippers to the hair colors. I went into 3 different drugstores, but I didn't see anything what looked like our type of medicines or drugs. We spent all day going to different excursions. Then we came back to the ship, and here we having food. Our guide left, her workday was over. It's boring here and nothing to do. I really want to go home. So yes, they spend every night here on the ship, and they eat at the ship because it's cheaper. I'm not sure why, but Nelly skipped November 6th, so next is November 7th. We're driving to Tower, so I assume it's another city or town. And so they had a conversation on the bus with the guide about cost of schooling, cost of private school, and so on. And then it says, we arrived to the grave of Karl Marx. So if you guys want to check it out, I guess in town of Tower, there's a grave of Karl Marx. So they arrived to lay flowers on the grave of Karl Marx. So there's another part of the Soviet tourism. You visit famous places like that. Then Nella describes kind of the funny way the actual grave. She said, on the gravestone, there's a hairy head on the top, but by itself, the cemetery in the really bad shape. There's a grass everywhere, collapsed gravestone and such. Then they had lunch in a steakhouse, and after lunch, they had shopping time. She said they all were literally running, trying to see as many stores as they can. She said, I ran all the stores twice, but anyways, everything is very expensive. She's trying to find a cheaper place to buy stuff, and no success. Everything is very expensive in any store. I decided to spend my remaining 40 pounds. Jeans, Soviet people liked American jeans. She bought a ring, some fabric, some other clothing items, and all the pounds were gone. Of course, we couldn't get a lot, but we bought something. Some people from Kiev bought rugs and were carrying them into the bus. And then she says, well, talking about тряпки, so we call rags, is like a slang word for clothing. So there's a special topic about rugs. We can talk about it for a long time. So, yeah, excursions, it's cool. Yeah, Karl Marx grave is cool, but now let's do shopping, and they will run. Then she has a couple words about stores. You approach the store, you step on a step, and doors opens. You go out, stores are closed behind you. So first time she experienced automatic doors in 1978. We never had those. Said service is top notch, but we are people from Mars. It sucks so bad not be able to speak, not to be able to understand. We can't ask about sizes. We act like Turks. So there's like an expression we have in Russian: if you act really stupid, you act like you're a Turk, you're from Turkey. Plus, it doesn't help that our guide constantly drags you by arm and says, don't take this, don't look at that, don't ever even think about buying that. Damn it, why is like God was mad at me? Why he's on my ass, pretty much is what she says. Then she continues about topic of shopping, and that's kind of another curious fact about Soviet people. I wanted to remind, says you, about Comrade Kogan. That's what actually she said. I know I'm abusing the word comrade a lot, but that's what she said. Tovarish Kogan, Comrade Kogan. So by the last name, I could tell he's a Jewish person. So he's kind of businessman, and he has a shop set up right in the port. So he's specializing in selling stuff to poor Soviet tourists. So she says, when we were going on this trip, we were warned, so I guess by the people who went on a similar cruise before, don't buy anything from Kogan. He's immigrant, his store is right at the port, and he sells everything or old or with some damages, so that's why it's so cheap. But of course, no one cared, and people bought a bunch of stuff from them. One lady from our group purchased a fur coat, and that sent from Ped Institute. So another, so he's like a, I don't know how to translate that sentence. So he works at the college for teachers. So he bought it. So he's like a teacher there, like almost professor, but they call it docent. So that's a one step below professor. So he bought a fur coat for his daughter. Another person, now docent from medical university. So you see, it's a Soviet elite on this cruise. He purchased a tape recorder, so magnetophone, so like a boombox. Then Nelly continues. In the evening, we had a celebration dinner. A slice of sturgeon, nice, and she said real one, but black caviar was, she said, поддельный, so fake one. Then we had sweets and ice cream. Your father ate chicken and I ate sweets, so they trade again. I thought that you probably would enjoy this food, but we are 3 hours behind you and you probably already were sleeping. I miss you a lot. We are saying goodbye to England. I'm very happy and satisfied. After this, I don't think I'll be surprised with anything. We have just a little bit left. 1 day of sailing, 1 day in Dania, Danish country, another day of sailing, then a day in Finland, then Leningrad and Moscow, and finally Voroshilovgrad. We're gonna be home. Okay, comrades, so we're now done with England. We have a little bit more left and we'll be done with this diary. I hope you enjoyed this show. I hope you enjoyed this interesting Soviet cruise story. But I actually noticed when I was checking statistics on YouTube that every video from the Soviet cruise series is actually losing subscribers. Like now YouTube can show you how many subscribers each video gained or lost, and I check every video about this cruise, I lose about 6 subscribers, which is kind of strange, but it is what it is. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the show. Please don't forget to put your likes, share with your friends. We'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye. Hey, by the way, cool merch for cool comrades is available at the Ushanka store at teespring.com. And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new, interesting videos about the life in Soviet